We've all been told to follow our passion, but what if that's the exact reason most new businesses fail? Today, we're breaking down a masterclass from the king of side hustles, Chris Kerner. He's launched over 80 businesses, generated hundreds of millions in revenue, and he argues that the secret to wealth isn't innovation, it's imitation. In this breakdown, Chris opens 3 suitcases containing $500, $1,000, and $5,000, and reveals exactly what businesses he would launch today with that cash. As he says, these ideas are the financial Ozempic for your bank account. Full interview link is available in the description. We often think we need a revolutionary idea to succeed. Chris disagrees entirely. His first major success came not from inventing something new, but by simply saying yes to a proven model.
I had a phone repair business when I was in college, 2010. And I got a call one day from someone that said, "Hey, Chris, I want to buy all of your broken iPhone screens. Do you have any broken iPhone screens?" "Sure. We don't throw them away because we think it's bad for the environment. We just have a box of them. How much will you pay me?" $3 a piece. "Why? What? Why will you pay me $3? It's just broken glass." And they said, "Well, there's actually a way of remanufacturing these. We can send them to China. We can remove the broken glass, put new glass on them, and then we can resell them as a remanufactured unit." And that was just like a light bulb, right? So most people, I think at this point,
this is the copy and paste strategy. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, identify a business that is already working and simply replicate it. Chris didn't know the industry's secrets yet, he just knew there was demand, and that was enough to start. If copying is the strategy, what about doing what you love? Chris warns that trying to monetize your passion too early is a luxury most beginners can't afford.
I like to say, follow the profit, Profit, until you can afford to follow your passion, right? Because if we're trying to follow our passion from day one, we're probably not ever going to get there, because the statistical likelihood that what we love and what makes us money overlaps in the beginning is almost zero. So ignore passion for a time. Try to build your passion around commerce.
Profit buys you the freedom to eventually pursue passion. Chris advises us to fall in love with the process of business itself, the game of turning $1 into $2, rather than the specific product you are selling. Now, let's get tactical. Chris opens the $500 suitcase. His first idea capitalizes on the massive gap between small business owners and the AI tools they know they need but are too afraid to use.
PM, and just see how it reacts. He's expecting there to be a delay. There's really not. He's expecting it to be dumb. There's not. He's expecting it to need to know all about his business. It doesn't, right? The AI knows about gutter cleaning businesses. Then he's sold, right? Charge him $3,000 for that. You build it, and then you charge him, call it $500.
You don't need to be a coder. You just need to be the bridge. By setting up simple AI voice agents for local businesses, like a gutter cleaner who misses calls, you can charge high setup fees and recurring monthly maintenance for a low-cost software solution. If technology isn't your thing, Chris suggests drop servicing. It's like dropshipping, but for services. You become the marketing face for blue-collar professions without ever getting your hands dirty.
Servicing, you're sending all the work to a local company to do it.
So a car repair company, I put up a car repair website. I use Facebook ads to drive people towards it. When they click to buy my car repair, I call a local car repair person and say, "Hey, I've got a customer here for you. Can you take them?" I book the customer in. They handle the car repair. I take the payment and pay the garage.
Yep.
This is classic arbitrage. You build a clean, trustworthy website for a messy industry, like garage repair or oil changes, capture the customer at a premium price, and outsource the actual labor to a local pro who doesn't know how to market themselves. Chris also loves directory websites. This is a long-term play where you build a niche list, like dog parks in Seattle, and monetize it before asking anyone for permission.
right? So I like to call this permissionless marketing. You're just proactively adding these businesses to a website. They have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. And then once you see traffic, then you reach out to them and say, hey, I've been bringing you more business. Would you like to start paying for that?
Interesting. And how much money can someone hope to make if they execute that strategy well, in your view? What's realistic?
With a directory web,
Instead of cold calling and begging for sales, you provide value first. You prove you have the traffic and the customers, making the sales pitch incredibly easy. It costs almost nothing to start but requires patience to let SEO kick in. Moving up to the $1,000 suitcase. The wedding industry is booming, and Chris spots an opportunity in renting out simple, low-cost items for high prices.
for these random one-off rentals, right? I read an article on Reddit about a guy that built a wedding arch from his garage with some 2x4s, some lumber. I think he spent like $200 or $300 to build it, and he rents it out to weddings for like $1,000 per wedding. And it's just a piece of wood for the couples to stand under as they say, I do, right?
And so he works with event organizers or wedding organizers to continually rent it to the wedding organizer.
The key here is B2B, not B2C. Don't chase the brides, chase the wedding planners. If you own the asset, like an arch or a photo wall, you can rent it out dozens of times, turning a one-time construction cost into an infinite revenue stream. Another $1,000 strategy is the local newsletter. It sounds old school, but hyperlocal content is thriving. You can buy subscribers with ads and then sell that attention back to local businesses.
Bob's car repair owner is potentially in your list. There are 10% of all adults are business owners, right? So if I have 1,000 email subscribers, 100 of them are going to be business owners, are going to be potential sponsors to my newsletter. So after a month or so, I'm going to send out an email that says, hey, your ad here, I'd love to sponsor your business. It's a very relevant market. It costs $500 per send.
This model works because of specificity. A newsletter about what's happening in Boise has extremely high open rates for residents. Local businesses are desperate for this kind of targeted attention, and they will pay a premium for it. Finally, the $5,000 suitcase. This isn't enough to buy a business outright, but it is enough to negotiate a seller financing deal. Chris uses RV parks as an example, but this applies to many boring businesses.
Or you can just manage it and enjoy the profits.
When you said seller financing, what does that mean?
That means the seller is holding the note. They are bearing the risk of you buying the park. But what's in it for them is they can get the park back if you default.
Okay, so they're not actually giving you the park up front. They're letting you have it today on the basis that you'll pay them in the future with profits you make.
Exactly. So you're making monthly payments to them. Because oftentimes they're going to...
This is how you acquire assets without having millions in the bank. You use your cash for operations and legal fees, and you convince the retiring owner to let you pay off the business purchase price using the future profits of the business itself. Before we finish, a warning. Chris identifies a specific type of failure he calls the Mirage opportunity. These are ideas that look obvious and sexy, like social apps or campus event guides, but are actually graveyards for entrepreneurs.
That never seems to work for anybody, but seems so obvious. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking of some, yeah.
And this has been a bit of a way for me to know what not to work on is if I see everybody trying to solve this particular problem and nobody's been successful, yet more and more people are plowing in, and yet it seems obvious to me, I just stay away from it. Because there's something in my...
If everyone is trying to solve a problem and failing, don't assume you're the genius who will fix it. Assume there is a hidden structural reason why it doesn't work. Stick to unsexy, proven markets where people are already spending money. To wrap up, Chris Kerner's philosophy boils down to 3 key insights. First, don't innovate, imitate. Copy what works and add your spin later. Second, ignore passion in the beginning, follow the profit until you can afford to do what you love. And third, use sweaty startups or service-based businesses to build your initial capital before swinging for the fences. The question Chris leaves us with is this: Are you avoiding a boring, profitable business because you're too focused on looking cool, or because you're afraid of the sweaty work required to get it off the ground? If you found value in this breakdown, please like the video and subscribe for more documentary summaries of the world's best business minds. Let me know in the comments, which of the 3 suitcases would you choose? Thanks for watching.